How are they always just adding more police? Either the NYPD is working overtime or the NYPD is hiring.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hey, I'm Michelle Hammer and you're watching Schizophrenia and the City. And today I want to talk about where is the mental health care for homeless in New York City? Where is it? And don't forget to subscribe. You may have heard of this or you may didn't hear about it. It was really big in New York and it just happened. On January 15th, 2022, 40-year-old Michelle Go was shoved in front of a subway train and was hit and didn't survive. This is really upsetting. I never want to hear stories like this. New York City is where I live. I take the subway all the time and I really do consider the subway a safe place. People seem to, from out of town, think it's like a really scary thing to do to take the subway. It's really not, but stories like this kind of make it sound scary. She was pushed by Marshall Simon, who was 61, and his sister Josette said that her brother was a hardworking Haitian immigrant until his life was derailed by mental illness while he was in his 30s and that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. We just heard another story about a violent schizophrenic person. Can we ever share a story about a person with schizophrenia that is positive? Can we ever share that story? And I'm not trying to put down Michelle Go. I understand that she was a lovely person and she even worked with charities and she even tried to help homeless people. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think what happened to her was terrible. The point I'm trying to get across is, where's the mental health care for the homeless in New York City so that these tragedies don't happen and will never happen again? You see a problem, let's try to solve that problem. And what is New York trying to do to solve that problem? Let's find out. Currently, the city's systems for helping people with a serious mental illness is broken and under-resourced. Hospitals have closed psychiatric beds and there's like this chronic shortage of supportive housing, which helps you with social workers and check-ins, but it doesn't really help anybody because there's not as much housing as there needs to be. And a lot of times people with mental illness are just put back on the street. You know, you can't pay your bills, you're just put on the street. I remember I was at my pop-up shop on 9th Avenue and a guy just walks down the street in hospital scrubs. He was just let out of the hospital, didn't even give him any real clothes, just said, there you go, and he's just walking down the street. You can tell that he has nowhere to go, he has no home, no real clothing. They let him out. And I was like, is this real life right now? Like, am I really witnessing this real now? It was ridiculous. What's New York City to do about this issue of these unsafe subways and I guess these mentally ill people that we just can't control, right? Oh, these schizophrenics, oh, they're just so dangerous. What are we gonna do about them anymore? Oh, 2,000 officers are gonna patrol the subway system and do sweeps. Oh, that's gonna help. They're gonna have this 8,000 times a day. I am so sick of this. If you don't live in New York City, you might not be aware that about every 6 months, some big tragedy happens somewhere. Something happens in Times Square, something happens over in Harlem, something happens in Brooklyn, something happens on the West Side. Something always happens that's a really big deal. And what the people in the government do, they put out more police. They said, we're putting police on the streets. Now they're putting police in the subways. I've heard this story a million times. How are they always just adding more police? Either the NYPD is working overtime or the NYPD is hiring. Maybe you should apply for a job because they're always putting more police on the streets. I don't understand where all the cops are coming from. But if there's more police on the streets, how come the crimes keep happening? You're basically putting a Band-Aid on a problem just by putting more police in there. You're just Band-Aiding the problem. You're not fixing the issue. Do you see how that doesn't make any sense? You're not helping the people with the mental illness. You're just scaring them with police so that they'll run away. I don't see the fix there. I don't really understand that. Oh, wait. They are doing something with social workers, though. They are doing something with social workers. If you know me, you know that I'm not a big fan of social workers, but they are good people. I've learned to not hate social workers as much as I used to, but I try my best to like social workers. I really do. The state is also planning to develop small teams of social workers and medical professionals to provide services as homelessness on the streets and subways persists for thousands. Yeah, for thousands. There's many. Yes, officials have said that transit officers will make referrals to those teams with an aim to better addressing the needs of people who are homeless or have mental illness. Listen, what are they gonna do? Because you're waiting for the subway sometimes, and then you see that dude that's like laying across 5 seats in there. So what the subway, like the conductor's gonna be like, yo, buddy, we got a homeless person in car 4 of the R train. Can you get him out? Like, I don't understand what that's gonna do, because the guy's sleeping. They're sleeping. Like, that's mostly what it is people sleeping on the subway. So I don't understand. It's like, you're gonna have to go wake him up now. Can you just like wake him up and tell him to like go somewhere else? I don't understand. How is that fixing the problem? And I have seen some things in some subways where social workers aren't even gonna know what to do. It's really upsetting, and it's really showing that, yes, New York City, you don't know what to do with the mentally ill homeless. Because if your fix every single time is to add more police, something's wrong. Something is really wrong if you're always adding police. Where are all the police coming from? Are you hiring millions of police already? Like, how are you always adding police? If you keep adding 2,000 cops on the street, are you just like adding 1 million cops on the street? Or are you taking them back, or then you putting them back out? I don't really even understand it. It doesn't make sense. Stop putting a Band-Aid on the problem. Fix the problem. Stop just kicking homeless mentally ill people out of hospitals. Get them a place to live. Have people check up on them. Stop. Fix the actual problem so that we don't have horrible tragedies like this, and so we don't get terrible news stories like this, and so we don't scare people into thinking that everybody with schizophrenia is dangerous and going to hurt people and gonna shove you in front of a subway train. Can we just fix the issue already in New York City? Stop putting cops on the street to scare the homeless people. It's not gonna help. I got a little excited and a little why do I always have like freak out panic attacks when I always record these videos? Ooh, okay. NYC, we got this. We're gonna be strong. Those 2,000 cops can't wait to see you in the subway. I'll say what up every time I see you. It's been real. I'm loving it. Hope you're loving it. Have a good day, night, morning, whatever it may be. See you later. Bye.